Sometimes the most interesting stories come from simply sitting down and asking someone to share their perspective. This is a chat with where we get to know the people behind the passions, the experiences, and the ideas. I am just going to jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You don't have to get too deep, too personal, but just tell me and the gallery a little bit about Nas the Great.
I'm NasTheGreat. Originally from Chicago, grew up in Indianapolis.
Shout
And
out.
yeah, you know, I try to do a little bit of everything. I try to get my hands into everything that I possibly can creatively. And yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm just a kid trying to make it out. Make out a nothing situation and make it into a positive.
I like
So
it.
yeah.
I like it. So, who do you believe you are at your core right now in this season of your life?
Man, that is a great question. I think where I am and who I am is I think I'm currently still I think right now I'm in a season of still finding or not even trying to find it, but more so adding to it. So I would say just trying to adapt to how creative the world is getting with
Nice.
the passions and the things that I like to do. So I think I'm just trying to adapt to how creative the world is right now, and because it's really hard to try to do something first, especially where we're at now in the world. So I'm just trying to make things into my make it into my own way. I think that's really what it is. Just trying to find a space to where I can stand out without feeling as if copying everything else, what everybody else is doing. But yeah, just try to really
Mm,
find my own way. And yeah, just trying to make it to where I am, what's the best word I could use? Yeah, I just, stand out amongst everybody else. I think that's where
nice.
I'm at right now.
Well, here's my two bits of,
Mhm.
of advice. Everything repeats itself, right?
Yes, 100%.
Your who you are authentically is what makes you stand out. Even when you're saying similar stuff that's already been said, when you're doing stuff that's already been done, you as the individual, your lived perspective is what makes that thing different. And
Hmm.
I get how you feel, right? I get how you feel because when you're watching it in real time, right? Life, um, it can seem like we don't have like this original thought, but the origination is you. So
Yeah,
just always remember that.
definitely will.
What's something people often misunderstand about you until they actually sit down and have a conversation with you?
Um, the best way to put it is like intellectually like inclined. Just based off of because I'm naturally come off as a goofy guy. Um, and yeah, I think that's really like the biggest thing, honestly. Like whenever I have like conversations with people, is they tend to get deeper than what people expect, just because of how I portray myself. I always try to come off as goofy. I never try to be too serious. I try to never take life too serious. But I think that's one of the biggest things is people may not think that, dang, this guy he's actually smarter. He's actually smarter than what people may think. So I think that's one of my biggest things.
Do you think they do that because of your age? Or do you
Um,
just think it's just your overall, just that initial?
it may be both. Because
Okay.
especially with the crowd now, a lot of people my age aren't as mature. It's definitely a dying breed of how mature and how real people are, especially within like just just my community and who I surround myself around. But yeah, I think that's really one of the biggest things is that it's an age thing, and just based off of what people see on an everyday basis. You don't see too many people try to, I guess you could say, not be necessarily smart, but more so they try to act different to be cool. So I think that's like, or not try to act different. They try to act a certain way to be cool. So I think that's one of the biggest things, honestly.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Last question, and then we're going to move on.
Okay.
What experiences thus far in your life have shaped the way you move through the world creatively and personally?
The experiences that I've gone through in life is, man, just I think just growing up is more so survival. Just learning how to survive and adapt to my situation. I had parents, cousins, all of that. Everybody was very, very young. They were kids raising kids, so um, I was just grateful. I was just grateful to be, around big older cousins and just a lot of family members too. I'm not gonna say we raised ourselves, but more so we figured out how to we figured out how to live life to the best of our ability with the situation that we had. So I think that's one of the biggest things, and I think that adds to our creativity as well. Just trying to figure out how are we going to do this. Like, hey, if we want to go play basketball, we know we ain't got no basketball court at our house, so we got to figure out if we could go to somebody else's court, and just learning how to just communicate and adapt to our situation that we had. And then creatively, I think the creative aspect of it came a little bit later. I'll say when I was about 19, 20.
Hmm.
When the creative aspect came about is when I first started my podcast. And that was honestly my first creative project that I've ever done. Of course I've had creative projects in school, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. With my podcast, this is something that I genuinely wanted to do. And just being able to do so and to see where I started from to seeing where it is now is definitely a beautiful sight to see. So I think those type of experiences help molded me into where I am now and where I'm gonna where and what I'm becoming. So yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
speaking of podcast,
hmm
you didn't even mention your podcast.
so yeah, my podcast sessions ENT. Shout out to the team, man. Shout out to Mo Gotti. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to LTB, Lauren the Boss. Shout out to KB. Shout out to the whole team. I appreciate my team. Yeah, sessions we've been going on for about 5, 6 years now, and we
Nice.
just been getting that ball rolling. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for where we are right now. I'm grateful for what's coming to the near future as well. So yeah, it's I love it. I love my podcast. Grateful to be in a position I am. Grateful to be in a position that I'm in. So yeah, I appreciate my team. I appreciate all the people that we've interviewed, even to down to the solo interviews. So yeah, I'm appreciative of the pod for sure.
My how the script has flipped on you. Usually, you're the one doing the interviewing
Yeah, yeah.
versus being interviewed. So
It's actually crazy that you said that because this is my first time ever doing something like this. So it's the first time for everything.
it is. It is. It is. So give me or tell the gallery a little bit more about what sessions ENT like the purpose, because I know what I see when I see it, but I think from from an audience perspective, right?
Hmm.
what Sessions ENT looks like to me is a platform that is promoting up and coming artists, independent artists, along with fashion.
Hmm.
Now, am I tracking in that? But but tell us what Sessions ENT is all about.
Basically, what Sessions ENT is really about building community. Because a lot of people aren't. I'm not gonna say they aren't able to, but their light may not seem. They may not think their light is as bright as someone else's, just because of the social like social because of the social norm it is today. People may seem like, they got more followers, they are doing this, that, and the third, and we don't want to
Mm-hmm.
seem as if it's that way, because everybody is so talented. Like, the world is so small, and I mean, the world is so
Mm-hmm.
big to people that feel like their talents are small. But the people that we interview are so confident in the things that they do. And I'm appreciative to even interview the people that we have. But yeah, it's more so built off of community, and we just want to shine light on to people that are in the basically in the same boat as us. Because I was gonna say our pod isn't the biggest pod on the earth, and we're striving to get there. But
I was about to
yeah,
say
we just
not
want to.
yet.
Yeah, it's on the way. It's definitely on the way. But yeah, I think we're just trying to really make sure that everybody is getting the recognition that I believe that people deserve. So we're just trying to build community with that, continue to shine light on. And I like the fact that you even use the word artist, because I don't even want to use artist as just music. I think everybody is an artist in their own realm,
I agree. I
from
agree.
making music, from a fashion
Yeah.
sense, from a teaching standpoint, as in, teachers, teaching kids and all of that kind of stuff. So, and like I said, I'm just grateful that I'm able to interview those kind of people and just shine light and gain. What's the word? Man, I can't think of the word right now. But I'm just glad that I'm able to learn from the people that I've interviewed, because they teach me something every time I interview somebody. I learn something new every single time. So I think that's the biggest thing, is building community and just learning from the people that we interview.
Nice. So, what was the moment you and your team had that realization that made you say, "We need to create Sessions ENT"? What was that? What was that thing that was like, "Man, we need to promote this thing. We need to promote these people within the community who just so happen to be musicians and artists." And I think you had a chef on there, a cook, somebody who cooked on there as well. So yeah, what like prompted that? What was that moment?
I think personally,
Hmm.
we always I more so think it was just because we know a lot of people that do cool things. So I think we
Okay.
just like, I think what me and Mo like when it comes to doing interviews is we
Hmm.
like to see people do cool things all the time, and it's like, man, he or she is doing something. Oh, that's cool. Like, oh yeah, we got to tap into that. We got to, we want to ask questions on why you're doing this. How do you make it look the way it is? What why do you do the things that you do? So I think that's the biggest thing, is we just like cool things at the end of the day. Because we started this, like, when me and Mo first started it, we got our inspiration, if I'm being honest, from um 85 South Show podcast. We had took a ride out to Tuskegee University for a homecoming, and
Nice.
our our the way we felt as if we were going to get there quicker is if we watched about 3 to 5 episodes of 85 South Show. We like, hey, because we know, like, hey, it's about 2 hours an episode, man. So we gotta, this is what it's gonna get us there. And when we came on that way back, I'm like, cuz I think we should do our own podcast. Like, ain't nobody doing them right now for real. So we just had a talk, chopped it up. We found a nice venue to a nice studio to do our podcast at, and it was up from there, honestly. And we just know a lot of, like I said, we know a lot of people that do a lot of cool stuff, and we like, hey, we already see it, but we want the world to see it as well. So I think that's
Awesome.
how we took on that.
Oh, I love that. So, how would you describe the culture or the energy of Sessions ENT to someone who's never experienced it before?
Man, that's a good question. I think the culture of it is more so like family oriented. And it's
That
like we
community. Mm-hmm.
and it's like because whenever we do the interviews, it's not like we stop talking to these people ever again. We just doing an interview just to do an interview, you know. So it's
Right.
like we genuinely want to build something to the point where it's like if let's say a musician needs like a cover art. We've interviewed plenty of artists to the point where now if they like, hey, Nas, Mo, yeah, I need somebody for this cover art. You think you can help me? Yeah, we could point you in the right direction. So I think that's the biggest thing within the culture is to know that dang, these people like they actually are building a community to the point where it's so many creatives in here. It doesn't feel as if you're getting lost in the world that you want to be in, you know. So I think that's our culture, and I think we just some cool guys that just enjoy being around creative people. Like I'm not gonna lie, I really sound like a broken record, but that's the best way I could put it. We just like to be around creative things on a daily basis, and that's why. And that kind of goes back to your question of how did we, how did I get here? You know where I
Mm-hmm.
am now, and it's just I ever since my podcast now I feel like my brain has changed to the point where I'm okay with listening to a new musician's music and not being stagnant with just one rapper or one singer or and all of that. Like I never used to listen to jazz music and now I listen to jazz music all of a sudden, so
Oh,
yeah, I think that's to answer your question. It's really just community. Just trying to build a community so that way people feel free and people feel as if, oh, I think this is something that I would want to be a part of. Just watching sessions and being able to be like, oh, this is an artist. Let me check he or she's music out. Oh, this is someone that paints or draws. Oh, let me check he or she's painting out. There's somebody that cuts hair or does hair or whatever the case may be. I think we got something for everybody. So yeah, definitely. Whenever y'all get the chance, man, check us out.
yeah. Last question about sessions, or just a question. My last question I want to ask about it is when people finish listening to an episode of Sessions ENT, what feeling or understanding do you hope stays with them afterwards or moving forward?
That these guys are very, very, very authentic in what they do. Because whenever we do an interview or whenever we do a solo interview, it's just more so yeah, we just kicking back talking shit, so I think that's the biggest thing. We just kicking back talking, just having a good time, and it's very authentic. It's not oh, we gotta sit up straight and do all it. I think a lot of times when people look at certain things is they don't they don't relax in those type of settings. We don't want to feel as if people have to be so serious within. Whenever we watching it, it's just like, oh dang, it felt like they having a conversation with us. Whenever you watching it, that's what I take from it. That's what people have told me. And this was years ago. This was when I first started my podcast. I remember somebody told me, they like, man, it's my therapy. I'll be sitting here watching this and I'll just be chilling out. And I'll be like, dang, I
Mm-hmm.
never really thought about that. And when you hear it, and it's crazy because it's really hard for me to explain it because I'm the one doing it. So I don't want to sound
Right.
biased when I say it, but I'm glad
Be
that people can
biased.
actually I'm actually glad people can tell me this to my face so that way, I have witnesses to say that, oh, this is how the podcast is. So yeah, I think that's what people take from it. It's very authentic. You get you're gonna get a lot out of it. Um, so yeah, I definitely appreciate the people that even have told me that, this is one of their favorite podcasts and whatnot. So hey, we gonna keep going though, and make sure y'all check us out. Yeah, we looking out for everybody though, for sure.
Nice. Now you mentioned artistry, and you know music. We've had our
Hmm.
music talk before. Music is my happy place. I love music.
Shout out music.
Um, yeah. So I did give you a homework assignment for this interview.
Uh huh.
But before you tell me your top three favorite music artists, we're gonna get into fashion in a little bit, but your top three favorite music artists. Or five, I don't know, 10, I don't know what you got. Um, Let me ask you this. Are there any particular artists or albums or moments in music that changed how you viewed yourself or just creativity? Let's start there.
A way that um an album or song or somebody that changed
An
the way I view.
artist, an album, just a moment, like in
Um.
music, or that you've seen
Oh,
happen. Yeah, like in music, that just changed how you viewed yourself, the world, creativity. Yeah.
that's actually pretty. I don't know why I thought that question was gonna be harder than what it was. But that's actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's this artist by the name of Larry June. He's from the West Coast, the Bay Area to be exact. Um,
What's
but
his
yeah,
name?
Larry June.
June, like the month of June?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, Larry June. Very very cool rapper. He one of the coolest dudes like that I've ever like. I haven't encountered him personally, but just on a music level, it's just like, man, he makes like being healthy cool. Like
Okay.
he talks about drinking orange, like fresh squeezed orange juice, and riding in nice cars and having a nice watch. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Having the flyest clothes, having the baddest chick. You know what I'm saying? So the way that he made me think about life is just, you don't have life is not as serious. Just stack your coins, do what you need to do,
And be
and
healthy
yeah,
doing
and
it.
be healthy doing it. Be the coolest person that you can be, for real. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's so yeah, I would definitely say Larry June. Shout out to Larry June, man. He is the reason that I would say that I be I move a little bit based off of how he, raps in his songs. So yeah, he talk about real life stuff. So I appreciate Larry June, man. He make you want to get off your feet and go get $10,000 today. So,
Look, okay, let me go real for real. Listen to Larry June, because baby, um, I had that moment, not necessarily that moment like you had with the motivation you had with Larry June, but I
Mhm.
had that transition in my musical library, I would say, with this artist called Michelle Indigeo.
I never heard of her.
And you've heard of her?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's
You might
that's
put me
that's
on.
not even that's not even like I don't know. I mean, she was very I don't even know how to describe. She's amazing to me.
Hmm.
She's very I mean, most music is poetic, but there was just something about her voice, about her style, her aesthetic altogether that was just it just pulled me in. There's a matter of fact on my email address, there's a quote that says, "There's such beauty." Oh, let me just pull up my email because it was in one of her songs. It was she actually does like spoken word on her albums, but she was one of the ones that really changed my point of view about music because
Hmm.
I think everybody, I'm a young old lady as I like to call myself. And this was one of her first albums, but I grew up listening to, R&B, rap, hip hop, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gospel cuz my mother was an absolutely great she was a Christian. She was a Southern Baptist. So there
Hmm.
was no other music that she really allowed in the house, right?
Exactly.
Gospel, 70, R&B from back in the day. But the album, and I kind of tip my hat to my uh sister because she really influenced a lot of the music that I listened to. But this was one of the albums that her Michelle Indicao Cello's first album, I believe, was called Plantation Lullabies. And I played the taste off of that album. Literally played the taste off of that album. It was great. I'm telling you, it was absolutely one of my, still to this day, one of my favorite albums. I'm surprised I couldn't find it on my phone, but I have a crap load of music, just ridiculous amounts of music on my phone. But this particular song is actually not a song. It's one of her like interludes, but it's called Untitled. And all
Hmm.
she's doing is she's talking about, oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. I wish I could play it, but if I want to put this on YouTube,
Yeah, yeah,
probably not
you
gonna be.
already
But
know.
I'll send you the link so you can. But essentially it's just spoken word, right?
Hmm.
But she was talking about the beauty of her blackness and like the beauty of her blackness and of like black what I got from it, she's talking about the beauty of her blackness and of black love. And there's just the disparities, all of these things kind of wrapped up into this song, into this moment on this album. But this line has stuck with me literally for the last 20 plus years of my life. And I actually put it on my email address. He says, "There's such purity in the love that's essential to the loving of oneself."
Hmm.
And that's why I was saying to you, the world is always seems to be on repeat,
Yeah,
but you are uniquely you, and your perspective is uniquely yours. So whether we're standing here looking at the same thing, listening to the same music, we're all going to have a different experience in that. And that experience
exactly.
is the beauty of our lived experience is the beauty of who we are as an individual, and that makes us authentically us.
Hmm.
You'll get me. Don't get me started
Yeah,
because
I already know.
you know. So, what does music give you on an emotional, mental, spiritual, even a physical level that nothing else can give you?
As of right now, peace. It
Come on
doesn't
now.
matter if it's R&B, rap. I don't care what kind of music it is. Music gives me a certain type of peace that nothing else can give me right now. So yeah, I have to listen to music every single day. it's a need for me. It's a need. It's not a want. It's
I
definitely a
agree.
need for me.
I
Um,
agree.
I enjoy listening to different artists every single day, but from physical, mental, to emotional, music brings me peace every single day. I don't care if I'm listening to the same song 50 times in a row.
Oh man.
I'm going to get a different feeling every time
Mhm.
I listen to this music. But yeah, music just brings me peace every single day. I appreciate
That makes
whoever was the first
yeah.
person to make a beat. I don't care if it had words to it, nothing. The first, I don't care if it was in BC time. I appreciate you because without
Come on
you,
now.
ooh, I don't know what I'd do without
Look.
no music.
Ooh.
I don't know
You
what
are
I'd do.
listen, you don't touch the nerve for me.
Mm,
Music is literally my happy place. It
mm-hmm,
is one of those things that I know where I can go and have that I can go and just find that moment, right? Kind
mm-hmm,
of like what you're saying, like music encompasses all that emotions, all those feelings, all of those things, but I can find peace in it. I can find happiness in it. I can find, these moments of contentment, right? And it's never going to be what you think it is, right? It's not always like I'm going off and listen to just like these just non-verbal, songs or whatever. But it
exactly.
comes it can come, man, come on. I played the taste off of a song. I love this song. Matter of fact, when I'm gonna look them up, and well, I have it already saved on my YouTube, but I'm gonna send you Untitled, and I'm going to send you this other one. His name is gosh, what is his? I still play this song. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna play it when I get off the phone with you because now I'm talking about it. Because that's what I do, because I love it. His name is Lee Renee,
I
and the
never heard
song
of
is
them.
Nas.
I feel like I'm asleep. I feel like I'm asleep. I think
Let
I'm
me tell
sleeping
you
on some people.
something. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my music with you personally. But then on
Okay.
my YouTube page, I'm going to start creating like playlists, one for like hip hop, one for rap. And to me they are different. Argue with your
Yeah.
mama.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
one with like soulful, one with like I call it blue eyed soul because it's
Yeah.
all
I
the
remember we talked about that.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got listen, when I tell you I love music, I absolutely love music. I mean, I've sat and listened to classical music. I've listened to all of it. I love music. Like it is absolutely one of those places that are, you know, when I need a moment, regardless of what that moment is, I can always find it somewhere in music.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to send it to you. Matter of fact, I think I can share my screen. I think I can at least share what I'm talking about with you. But Lee Renee, I love you. It's only a minute and like 37 seconds, I think, 36 seconds. I put it
Mm-hmm.
on repeat. I was sending it out to people when I first heard it, and I was just like, oh my God, I cannot. I love it. But he's one of my favorites as well. But like I said, I'm not gonna show it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you like five of my favorite, and I'm gonna go through all my little genres
Okay. Bet. Okay.
because
Bet.
I know you may not be there yet, but that's okay. Because I don't
Hmm.
listen. I know how it is though, because I can tell you, and I do have one other question with regards to music. And the
Hmm.
reason I say that is because when I was younger, if my sister didn't tell me a lot of things, or didn't if I didn't get that lived experience through her, right? When
Hmm.
she would send back artists like Depeche Mode or um what was the name of that? They were now, house music was she started it, and then I had a lot of friends when I lived in the South that were from up north.
Yeah.
Oh man, house music. So what is the name of that song? I was just listening to it. The song is called Good Life. And if people, they're from Jersey. It was a song out of New Jersey, but let me see. But Good Life is by Inner City on an album called Paradise. Absolutely one of my favorite house songs. Absolutely one of my favorite house songs. I'm not even going to get into all the Chicago house that I've come across because let me tell you something. Mike Dunn has me in a chokehold right now. I found him on Defected on this there's like this I don't know what Defected Presents is. I don't know, but they just go and find like these house artists, like these DJs that do all the house music, and they'll
Mhm.
have like 30 songs on an album and absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you, when I'm in one of them moments in the gym and I need to push through like a one of my 45-minute cardio sessions, I'm putting on some house music because man, oh man. But anyway, I think it's well, there's two things. One is called Defected Presents, and the other one is like Defected House or something like that. I'll have to
Mhm.
send it to you. But house music and like certain rap and hip hop, man, oh man. Anyway, I think I kind of went off on my little tangent a little bit,
Mhm.
bringing it back in. So, with that being said, how do you think music reflects the culture and emotions of the current times that we're living in?
I would say within my culture, personally, it's producing a lot of BS. Personally, because a lot of people,
Really?
yeah, that's just how I feel. And that's just based off of what I see on an everyday basis. I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
so pushing out BS than anything because that's what that's what makes the dollar. So yeah, do I listen to it sometimes? Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't. And I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
it sometimes, but I think what the culture is pushing out is a lot of BS. It's not too much good music going out right now. Not I would say if it is, and because it is a lot of good music, I found a lot of good music over the last few months, last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's honestly a 1% of that. If I'm being honest, I think it's 1% good music actually being pushed out, and then 99% BS. If I'm being completely honest.
I can attest to that, but that's kind of surprising coming from someone younger. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say yeah. I think because I like because sometimes I may not want to hear no. I may not want to hear music that is quote unquote real, I guess you can say. Sometimes I might want to hear something that's very, very, you know, fictional. Like I don't feel like I may not feel like listening to all the real stuff, but yeah, a lot of it. But sometimes when it's too much stuff being pushed out that's not real, it gets to a point. It's like, dang, are we ever gonna have something to talk about? You know? So I think that's
Right,
the biggest thing.
right, right. I can agree to that.
Hmm.
Just, I mean, simply because of course, I grew up in a different time, but I think it's such a hard thing to just find origin. I know origination may not be a word. All the wordsmiths and you know, don't come for me in the comments, but I just think it's hard to find originality. That's a better
Yeah,
word. And
yeah, it
a
is.
lot of the things that we're hearing from in on any genre of music at this point. So let me ask you this: have you heard the Jack Harlow album Monica?
Nah, I haven't. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Haven't heard the new Jack Harlow album. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I don't go out my way to go listen to Jack Harlow. He has a
I
lot
don't
of nice
either.
songs though. But no,
He
I haven't
does?
heard it though. Nah, he do. I think he do got some good music though. I definitely think he got some good
Interesting.
music. I like some of Jack Harlow music.
I'm gonna have to tap into him because they said he came out with like this that Monica album,
Hmm.
and I've had some interesting conversation. I haven't listened to it, but I wasn't a Jack Harlow like I wouldn't find myself going looking for Jack Harlow to be like, oh yeah, Jack Harlow, woo woo. So I guess that's a little bit of my ignorance to Jack
Hmm.
Harlow, but um I've heard some interesting takes on it, and I've seen a few interviews, and I know this album came out a while ago.
Yeah.
His album Monica came out a while ago. And with him stepping over into R&B, and they were asking him about like certain artists that, you know, a lot of his music was very similar to. He didn't even know
Hmm.
who they were. He had no idea. They were like, who is this? And who is this? And he was just like, I don't know. But they sound
Wow.
great. He had the whole bop going on and everything. And I was just like, yo, how you bopping that hard and you don't even know who this is? This man's been playing, you've been doing music for like your whole entire life. And you don't
Hmm.
even know who it is. And you've stepped into this genre and you haven't even done the due diligence of at least researching and paying homage to those who've done it before you. But I digress.
Nah,
I
a lot of people in
digress.
my, I think a lot of people in my generation,
Mm-hmm.
we are very, what's the word? Like a lot of things are very like we become very short minded with a lot of things that is shown to us. So we a lot of people will get off some stuff quick unless you grew up that way. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people my age aren't gonna do homework on certain things, especially artists. A lot of artists aren't gonna do homework on artists from back in the day or people that they sample. They just sample certain songs because the beat is nice.
I find that interesting though, right? I think it's such a for me to me, how do you I don't know. I think if I could sing or rap, which I can do neither, but I love music. I can't even play an instrument. I could probably play the one little tune my daddy taught me when I was a little girl. Probably that if I had a keyboard sitting in front of me,
Hmm.
right? Um, and my dad was a big just since I put him out there, my dad was a huge, huge jazz enthusiast. Winston
Hmm.
Marsalis, Thelonious Monk. I mean, he got into like the rhythm, like the blues and stuff like that. But on his everyday, when he was winding down or something, jazz was what was playing. Love that. So, like I was telling you about my mom, it was mostly, of course, R&B of that time, right? And the
Hmm.
blues, because that's the stuff they grew up on. And then it was gospel. So you know, we grew up, my sister and I grew up listening to that. So that was kind of like our jumping off point when it came to music. Now, I think when I met people of different cultures, my sister had the influences she had, and she would send me music or she would be listening to something. I think it just sparked this curiosity, and I would I would go down that rabbit hole, right? I would sort through the CD collection if she had when she was there and be like, well, who is this and what is that about, right? So I think for me, just the to hear something different than what I was used to listening sparked that curiosity for me to go out and then say, well, let me go and listen to this, right? And then I also have to I give my homage too to I was a late 70s, early 80s. I mean late 70s baby, right? So
Hmm.
I pretty much grew up in the 80s. So throw a rock at any 80s, genre or music at the time, and we probably listened to it. And it didn't matter whether it was rock or R&B or rock and roll. I think every kid that grew up in the 80s was blessed to have, you know, the Boy Georges um and what was that guy? I used to love that Lisa Stansfield, and you know what I mean? Like we had all of these different types of artists in that time frame. that we was
Yeah.
just kind of, blessed to have that diversity, right? So, anywho, so all I'm saying, I said all of that to say is that growing up in that time and being able to experience that, and then having the exposure to different genres, different types of music, different from cultures, culturally as well, it just like created this curiosity that I would venture out and listen to other stuff, right? Not necessarily having to be prompted to, but just simply out of respect for the artistry of music and wanting to understand it from and enjoy it from different cultural and experiences. I guess that's the best way to put it. And anyway,
Yeah.
that's just me. But I that's interesting. Um, so let's talk about fashion.
Hmm. I love fashion. I love fashion a lot. I'm excited for it.
So, okay. Oh, before we get off music, what are your three to like five, like if you were to recommend 3 to 5 different albums or artists, who or what would they be?
Artists that I would recommend.
Well, you told us
Um,
about Larry June.
so yeah, I'm trying to think who I listen to on a everyday basis. I don't know. I think, but these are my people that I enjoy listening to. I'm gonna give you like just my top five musicians that I could think of off the top of my head right now. I gotta say
Okay.
Jay Z,
Okay.
uh, Marvin Gaye in there. Marvin Gaye is actually my favorite artist of all time. Uh,
What you know about Marvin Gaye?
that's my boy. Who else? I gotta go. I gotta go Biggie too. I like Biggie a lot. I like Kiss. I like Jada Kiss.
Oh,
Um,
I was like, wait a minute. Did not see that coming. I thought you was talking about Kiss like the
the
rock
group?
band.
Nah.
I
I'm nothing
was
like
like,
that.
what? Okay.
Um, Biggie, Jada Kiss, Marvin Gaye, Donnell Jones.
Oh, where I want to be.
Who
Oh
else?
yeah.
It's so many. It's very hard for me to, especially within the entire music industry. It's
Oh
hard for
yeah.
me to break down five, but because I could go on all day. Like Kales, I gotta throw Kales in there. I gotta throw the Isley brothers in there. Of course, Mike Jack. It's so many.
You meant
Sam
Michael
Cooke.
Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Michael Jackson. Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke at one point was my favorite artist.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
There's so many people like, and I
Time.
really and it's I love. I didn't notice I liked him as an individual artist until maybe
Who
like
is
a
this?
year or two ago. But David Ruffin, I really like David Ruffin.
David Ruffin. Oh,
I really
look,
like David Ruffin.
gotta look up David Ruffin. I've
David
heard of him.
Ruffin
I'm
from
just,
the Temptations.
oh, see what I'm saying? I'm over here having a whole brain fart. Like David Ruffin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like David Ruffin too.
yeah, David Ruffin. I love him as an artist. And
Wow.
even though they real, but they not real, I throw five heartbeats in there one time. Um,
What you mean that's not real?
they real, but they ain't real. Or am I tripping? I might be too young to be trying to make this assumption.
Wait a minute. The five heart. Wait a minute. Five
Is the five heartbeats
heartbeats.
real? I always wanted to know that.
I
I
think
thought
it's
that.
a. I think it was just a.
Is it just a movie or am I tripping?
I want to say it was just a movie, but I want to see if it was. Here we go. Five Heartbeats. Was it a true story? It is not a true story about a specific group, but a fictional musical drama loosely inspired by the lives and careers of several real-life R&B and soul artists. It's
Okay.
a composite story drawing heavily from the experiences of groups like the Dells. the Temptations and the Four Tops. So you're right. They weren't a real group. But
But yeah, shout out to all of them, and then people that I listen to now. Um, of course,
mhm.
shout out to all my rapper homies. Y'all keep doing y'all thing.
What
Um,
are they? Are they local? Are they independent artists?
yeah, independent, local.
Are they on SoundCloud
They
or
all on Apple Music. Um,
they're on Apple?
yeah,
Say their name, sir.
and I interviewed all of them. Shout out to the
Cool.
five. Shout out Ferg. Shout out Dave. So insane. Shout out K Ferg. Shout out Slow. Um, shout out School. Who else? Shout out Almighty. Uh, shout out Almighty Foe. Shout out who else? I feel like I missed some people. I hate when I do this.
Listen,
I didn't
I
interview so.
need,
Oh, shout out Cruz. Shout out
okay.
shout out Fat Coffee. Um, who else? I interview way more many artists than this. I know I have.
So here's what I would like for you to do. And I'm going to shout out B Class, who is on SoundCloud, and he has a YouTube page called The Classic Codes that he um, plays his music on. So if you go to SoundCloud, look up B Class, amazing independent artist. I just came across him. I was on a couple of his panels on the Classic Code. He's a part of a group also called the Raw Society Coalition. So please go check out him and all of their channels. I will put the link in the description. And if you could give me the links, the names at least to the people on you said they're on Apple Music.
Oh yeah, they literally on every platform you can think of.
Okay, well if you can give me their names and then I will list them in the description so that people can go and check them out because I want to promote as many independent artists or artists period really, but really promote independent artists as much as possible on my platform because that's
Mhm.
why I created it. So yeah, that would be awesome.
But yeah, shout out. It's so many artists that I like though. I gave you like 15
Oh
people
yeah, you.
that I like, but yeah, it's so many to choose from. But yeah, this is music that I listen to on an everyday basis. Like even the people that I interview, I listen to their music all the time.
That's dope.
Um, from the people that from people that are mainstream. I listen to them all the time. But yeah, my love for music is very heavy. I'm appreciative of music. Shout out to everybody that sent me the unreleased music too. Uh,
Nice.
can't wait for the world to hear it. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my them the people that I listen to. It's way more than that, but
Oh
them the ones
yeah.
that I think of off the top of my head. I had to show the homie some love though for sure.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. I'm gonna pull you into some other directions, hopefully.
Okay.
That's the goal. I'm
Okay.
gonna send you some stuff. And like I said, as I as I continue to grow my channel, I'm gonna put my playlist of like my favorite artists or genres of music with all the artists listed there so people can go in and enjoy that as well on their own time and
Hmm.
so awesome. All right. Fashion. Fashion, 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 fashion. Let's talk about it.
Hmm.
First question I have is what do you think your style says about you before you even speak?
That young nigga right there, fresh. That's the best way. like, like, cause it's crazy. Whenever I put on outfits, um, usually I'm never too loud with my outfits. They usually be pretty simple. But I might have a piece on that definitely speaks value. I gotta have at least one piece on that speaks value. But yeah, usually whenever I throw something on, it's just dang, he fresh. Like it makes somebody wanna you know, just want to interact, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So do you think fashion is more about individuality, influence, confidence, storytelling, or something entirely different for you?
That's a great question. I think me personally, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, a little bit of everything, if I'm being honest.
Right. Right.
Because like you gotta have, because somebody could have the most expensive thing on and might not have no confidence in the world when putting it on. You know what I'm saying? I've
Right.
seen somebody go get an outfit from, these thrift shops, and that outfit may be $10, but it looks like they paid the most money on planet Earth to acquire this, So I think it's a little bit of everything: confidence, influence. I get my fashion influence from a lot of people. Growing up, I didn't really have, um, of course, my pops and my mom, they always tried to keep me as fresh as they possibly could.
Right.
But, as I started to get older and, make my own money, now I can, get the things that I've always wanted as a kid and just growing up. And it's crazy. I tell people this all the time. I don't get fly for myself now. I'm getting fly for my younger self. I say this all the time. I don't get
Oh,
fly
I
for
like
myself
that.
now. Yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
fly for myself now. I get fly for my younger self because myself now, I don't want this for real. I do it because I never had it. But yeah, influence is big. I get my influence from a lot of rappers. I get a lot of influence from my friends. I get a lot of and then my confidence is just very, very high. It took a while to get there, but my confidence is high, with whatever I put on or, you know, whatever I try to put together. If I be like, dang, these colors feel like they clashing, but sometimes it may hit, you just got to put it all the way together. So I feel like it's a little bit of everything, honestly. I think everybody must have confidence. You gonna get influenced in some type of way. A lot of people not gonna be like. Sometimes I really dislike when people say, "Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody showed me how to do this, that, and the third, woo woo." But it's like you bought that because not saying that you ain't see nobody else with it. Not saying that you didn't see it first, but 9 times out of 10, you see somebody else throw this on. Like you've seen it somewhere else. But yeah, influence is big, confidence is big. Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. I like that. I gotta put that saying is dope. I'm doing this for the younger. What'd you say?
Oh, I do this for my younger self.
I do it for my younger self. Okay. I like that. Well, not the last question, but I had another question. How would you describe your relationship with fashion beyond just the clothing and the trends? And I know you just touched on like being young, you know, when you were younger, I should say, and you couldn't get it. Mom and dad couldn't get it, right? I've been there, right?
Hmm.
Mama was like, whatever. You got shoes on the feet and clothes on your back? We don't care where we got it from. Kmart.
Exactly.
We don't none of that
Exactly.
stuff, man, right? We don't what's the name? You want some Nikes, go get you a job and get you some Nikes, right? You
Hmm.
gonna give you because it was more out of let me provide what was needed and not what you wanted. So I get that. I
Exactly.
get that sentiment. So outside of that, where do you think your relationship with fashion, just beyond the clothing and the trends, how would you describe that relationship with fashion?
Man, fashion is almost like a distant relative that I became close with. Cause
Oh.
I've always seen fashion, especially growing
Mm-hmm.
up. Like my pops, he one of like the biggest influences. So like just seeing him with all the flyest stuff, you know. And mind you, he was doing that at the age that I'm currently at today, doing this. So it was like, man, like
Right.
I've always seen it, my older cousins, they've always been fly, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing the rappers that I've seen growing up, They was always I always liked the flyest rappers. So I think that's really what it is. It's like a distant cousin that I became close with. So it's just I started to do my and then when I was younger, I was always doing my own research. You know, with
Right.
certain fashion things, with certain things that I used to like, and then as I got older, I started to just kind of find my own swag in my own way, so that way it
Mm-hmm.
was, and now just looking up clothes or seeing how certain people put different outfits together. I usually don't I usually don't judge people off of their outfits, because it's like I could, I'm not gonna say I could see myself wearing some of these outfits, but I can understand why this is put together the way it is. So I think the another reason is because of New York. Me going to New York the few times that I've been
Mm-hmm.
really taught me that because I've seen people in New York throw so many different outfits together that to me at the time made absolutely no sense. But then as I got older and started to, I guess you could say study how fashion works and how fashion is, it's like, man, no, this actually makes sense. Everybody's gonna have their own type of swag in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of one of the things that I saw, right? So when I was younger, I thought fashion was about the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Nikes, the Adidas, the British Knights. I know people like British Knights, but I mean, everything was in a name, right? You had to have like the latest name brand of something to be
Exactly.
like to make a statement, right? But then I would also see people. I got my mother was a perfect example of this, and she still does it to this day. She would just go find random pieces and layer it a certain way or do it. And I was just like, that looks nice though. And you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know like that it wasn't some chic fashion brand or whatever the case may be because it's just how she put things together. It was one of those things that I was just like, that's kind of cool, right? And I know a lot of people, right, who thrift, who love thrifting, and will go into a thrift shop, just go thrifting on a random day of the week and just find like pieces or jewelry that you would think that they spent hundreds of dollars on. And they went in and just literally spent like $20, maybe
Yep.
50, and just pieced it together and layered it a certain way that the fashion itself becomes its own work of art, right? And it makes a statement. So I've always loved that, right? Because I consider myself very simple. I believe
Mm-hmm.
in the simplicity of an outfit is the elegance of it, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't have to be gaudy, it doesn't have to be name brand, it doesn't have to be any of that. I think it kind of goes back to when I asked you about, influence, individuality. I think for me, fashion is about individuality and confidence primarily. I
Yeah.
think it doesn't. I think those two things mean the most. A t-shirt and jeans with a fly pair of J's and a blazer, or what are the quarter zips are all the rave now, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bow tie, a tie. You know whose fashion style I like and everybody gives him the blues about? Cam Newton. I
Man, I
love his fashion sense. I really, really do. And I think it's just, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I like his fashion sense because it's it's like himself. I don't want to say personified in that way. I don't think that's the right way to frame it. But
mm-hmm.
it's a part of who he is and his original. When we talked about earlier about in a world that seems to be on repeat, how do you stand out? You take the thing that seems to be the common thread and you make it uniquely yours. And I think Cam has done that in his own way, right? I think he has the hats, the putting a bow tie on and have on a full jogger with some dress shoes. It's like, what? But I
Yeah.
love it because he makes it for him. It works. That's how I look. I love that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, and I'm not mad at that because I got a brother that actually appreciates his fashion style as well. Am I gonna sit here and say I appreciate it? Nah, I'm not even gonna sit here and say I do. Just for the simple, but because don't get me wrong, it's cool. Like, oh yeah, you doing your thing because it's your own. But I
Right.
just can't get like I seen him wear a fedora with a button up and a bow tie with a jersey on top. I'm like, cuz it's like I don't know. It's just I see
Right.
that I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, but and it's like, but he's so confident in what he wear, and it's like nobody not gonna say. And like you said, people say something, but now it's like they see it now, they be like, oh no, that's Cam. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
But
they
it
can't
is. That's
exactly.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's just something that's uniquely him. Even before like
Hmm.
he got out of the NFL, they used to joke with him and they used to call him the rich auntie and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, I like his style of dress. I like his aesthetic. And I think
Yeah.
it fits him and you know, him. I just think it fits him. And I just like the fact that he just took it and he owned it. And he was very unapologetic about it. And I think that's just kind of one of the things we get away from. Even like when we were talking about music, everything sounds the same. Everybody wants to, sound the same. Everybody wants to do similar stuff. And there's no originality to it. And I think that's what I like about just fashion within itself. It's not always about the name, it's about your individuality and your confidence, right? Whether, like I said, it's a t-shirt and jeans and a fly pair of J's, and however you choose to accessorize it, versus it just being, you know, something bohemian, if you will. Something we were like, I would have never put that together, but it works
Exactly.
for you, right? So, but yeah. All right, Nas the Great, my last and final and favorite question that I am going to ask,
Hmm.
my
Already.
drum roll that I don't have ready. Nothing was ready for today. Nothing. But we making it
Hey, we
happen.
here though. We here. All right.
Right. So, my favorite question. If your life were a piece of art, what type of art would it be and what would you want people to notice about it first?
What is that piece of art? It's a painting where a whole bunch of black people like dancing in like a bar and like a juke spot.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. So you would want it to actually be like a painting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, what would you want people to notice first about your painting? Because that's
That
that's that's a
is.
classic.
I really wish I could. I really wish I could think of the name. I
Let me
really
see
wish
if
I
I
could.
can look it up really quickly. But while I'm looking it up, kind of give me an idea of like what in your painting, right?
Hmm.
What would you want people to notice first about your paint? Because it's interesting you say that particular painting, right?
Hmm.
Because it reflects what you were saying along the like with SessionsENT, it's that community. There was a sense of community in that painting.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can find it really quick.
But basically, what would be in that painting is just me personally, just me being free and being able to, yeah, just me being free, being able to move without a like without shackles being around me. Feel like I have to tiptoe with, feel like I don't feel like I have to tiptoe around certain things or feel as if like I have to be shy to do this or I can't be creative because I don't want people to look at me a certain type of way or say
Hmm.
that I'm lame or whatever the case may be. So I think when they first see when if they were to see a painting to describe like how basically my life was, it'd be like, man, this painting feels so like this painting feels so free. It feels like they have no worries from about anything that whatever they encounter. There's no worries, even if it could be the biggest thing possible. But they know like whatever, no obstacle is too big, you know. So I think that's the biggest thing is that
Oh,
the
okay. I
painting
think I
is
found it.
free.
I think I found it. It's called Sugar Shack.
Yes, that's what it's called. That's what it's
It's
called.
called Sugar Shack, and it's a bunch of black people. They're in a juke joint back in the
A
day.
juke joint, yeah. And it's like they just look so free, just dancing, not a care in the
Wow.
world, just doing whatever they wanted, doing whatever dance move they wanted to do, got on whatever clothes they wanted to have on. And they could be dancing off beat, but you know
It didn't even matter.
exactly. So I think that's the biggest thing. They just felt it just looked
Nice.
like they felt so free within that painting, So I think
Oh, I
that's
love
that's
it.
my biggest thing.
And by the way, the Sugar Shack is painted by an artist named Ernie Barnes.
Shout out
I don't know
Ernie.
if he's yeah, I don't know he is alive and well. Oh, I think he is. Yeah, he's got a whole website. Okay. Well, that is all the questions that I have. And again, thank you so much, Niles, for jumping on here, working through me with the technical difficulties. My first guest on my very first episode of A Chat With. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk with me. It has been fun and a pleasure, and I appreciate you so much.
And I appreciate you. Shout out to Sonny and the Peanut Gallery. I appreciate you for allowing me to be the first person that you've ever had a chat with. I wish you more blessings, more interviews, more people to chat with. Yeah, and it's definitely this is a good thing. You got a good thing going right here. So I'm happy for what you got to come for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There is always something to learn when we take time to listen. Thank you for joining this conversation. Until next time, stay blessed and be intentional.